Hello and welcome back to the Otaku Oasis podcast. I'm your host Joshua, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Matthew, also known as Tyrion King. You can find me on twitch.tv/Tyrion King or any of the other Otaku Oasis channels.
We are back today with our coverage on Demon Slayer, which today we are covering episodes 8 through 14 and chapters 14 through 17.
Woo!
So getting into it, what did you think of these two arcs? They were like pretty short, but I mean,
They were short, but I really liked them. I think I preferred the second arc to the first one more, just because it was more like combat was more interesting. I think. Plus, we
hmm,
got introduced to the other two main characters.
yeah, no, I definitely will agree. I definitely think well, I do definitely like what's defined as the Asakusa arc. The what is it? The Suzumi Mansion arc. I definitely like the combat in just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's got a more interesting feel with the drums, but that's not to say that Ball Lady and Arrow Guy, whose names I don't remember, they're not combat isn't interesting because it's actually fascinating. But
Hmm,
I don't know. There's
yeah,
more depth to the combat in the Mansion arc.
yeah. So anyways, let's get started then.
Yes.
So starting off with the Asakusa arc, which left like kind of leaves off from where we were last time with Tanjiro seeing Muzan, and then he pricks this guy who's with his girlfriend and whatnot, and pumps in just a bit of his blood, and
How
turns him into a
did I
demon.
actually I got a question about that. How did by scratching the guy's neck did he get blood in there?
I mean, I think it's just due to like demon like fingernail things potentially, because like
Is
we
it
see
less blood
later.
and more like DNA?
Potentially, I don't know. Like, it's like I mean, because we see later that Muzan just sticks his finger in someone, and if he pumps too much blood in them, they just you
So
know
maybe he's able to like pump blood through
turn
his
into it
fingers. I don't know.
into a pulpy mess.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I hated that so much.
No, to
That
be all
was
honest, I think that the hand demon from the final exams is a bit more disgusting, but that's just my opinion.
that just looked like a general blobby demon. You watched her like puff up and like explode. That was like it.
Even then, if we want to talk about body horror, I think Jujutsu Kaisen's is way worse in many ways.
That I wouldn't know. I have not seen it.
I will probably
We'll
come to
get to
that
it.
pretty soon. Yeah. But yeah, so basically, yeah, so anything else just on like that beginning kind of opening part, or
Um yeah. So how far are we talking about beginning? Like just the him swiping the demon?
um the swiping the demon all the way up to the introduction of
So
Tamayo.
remember, as I saw this episode before I saw the others, so like there was maybe almost a week in between. So I'm gonna say
Mhm.
I did he escape at this point, Muzin?
Yeah, yeah, he escapes basically right after the swipe, and
Yeah, I meant like, but he drop his family off and then leave.
yeah, yeah,
Where does
and
he go? How does he get away so fast?
I mean, I just assume that demons are very good at hiding.
That's fair.
um, Also, he makes a comment about Tanjiro's earrings.
Yeah, I did notice that. Um, Personal theory, I think Tanjiro's father, who we've never seen before, was a demon slayer and hunted down Muzin at one point, and now Muzin was angry, and that's why he went to that remote woods to kill Tanjiro's family, sort of as a revenge for what his father did, and didn't realize he
Potentially.
missed one.
I honestly couldn't give you an answer one way or the other, so I
Yeah,
mean,
because it would kind of because
oh,
that one of the questions I had for a while was what because they mentioned because Tanjiro mentions that it was out in the remote woods, and then when he said that, it's like, well, why would Muzan, the only person who has the ability to turn people into demons, go out of his way to attack that specific house? He could have attacked anyone. He chose that house. Why? And with him having a grudge against Tanjiro's earrings, and the person in the picture in the flashback looked like Tanjiro, or had the same hair color and somewhat style at least.
Yeah, I mean, and if it isn't his father, it could at least be like an ancestor of theirs potentially.
Yes. So because Muzan's been around forever, right? He's been around for years.
Yeah,
There's
few
no
centuries
knowing.
at the very least.
Yeah, but because we haven't seen Tanjiro's father, my guess is it is Tanjiro's father was a demon slayer who went after Muzan and didn't finish the job. But I think he weakened him at some point. Weakened him
That's
to a
either that
point.
or Muzan got away or
Yeah,
something.
Muzan got away, but I think Muzan got hurt, and now he's pissed and wants revenge.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. We covered the Muzan blood scene.
And then, well, yeah, then we'll actually going back after Tanjiro, like, body holds, or, holds on to the demon so he can't kill anyone. Doesn't he start getting beat by the police?
Yes.
And then we have the doctor show up.
Yes. Actually, so just a mention on this because I don't think never like clearly stated, at least not like fully, at least I don't think. But so you know how the police were saying like the guy was like drunk and whatnot.
Yes.
So it definitely seems like, at least from my understanding of it, and I don't know if it's like clearly stated later or earlier or something, I just missed it, but it would make sense is that like demons aren't a common occurrence in
They
like
aren't.
in
I think
public
they
areas.
mention Tanjiro mentions last arc, or the last episode we did, that his grandmother had mentioned demons and he thought they were like a story.
Yeah.
So they're not a common thing.
Yeah.
Because this was specifically mentioned when Tanjiro's going back up the hill to go back after delivering the coal, and the guy's like, "Hey, there's demons out at night. You should stay here." And Tanjiro's like, "What? My grandmother says the same thing. I thought they were just stories." And then spends the night, and then survives.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it could be just because like they're living in kind of an age where it's like there are lesser demon, like there are less demons overall for the most part, but
Yeah.
it's like when they do something, it's like not really trackable.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think that's
so we
also
get
Muzan's plan. I think Muzan doesn't want people to know there are demons because I think it's like, remember, there's the whole, I don't. It's been by this point we know people can't say his name. We don't know
it's not that
specifically. We don't know specifically why, but we know people can't say his name.
no, people can say his name.
Well, demons can't say his name.
Oh, well, yeah, demons can't say his name.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, demons can't say his name.
Yeah. They're pretty scared of him.
Yeah.
We'll see a little bit more of that later in this arc, but So anyways, at this point, I believe we get the entrance of Tamayo and her helper. I forget his name. It's like
he's the annoying guy, right? The brat.
Yeah, it's the one with the white hair.
Yes. Demon Slayer. Where's my wiki?
I think it's like Kimetsu or something like that.
Characters. Demon. Yushiro? Yeah, Yushiro.
Yushiro. I was pretty close.
So, it's a thing with all demons that their hair is multicolored, right?
It definitely seems to be that way.
I wonder why.
I mean, other than just to differentiate characters.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously like, a way to distinct them from regular humans, but why?
I think it's also just because since they're in Japan, there needs to be some explanation for how there's a whole bunch of multicolored people.
Yeah, that's fair.
'Cause more often than not, like the hair color of most characters is like black hair. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, we meet Tamayo, and we eventually go to her estate after like going back to the ramen place where Tanjiro has to basically eat like two bowls to make up for the one bowl that he paid. Did he even pay for it? I forget if
I
he
think
paid
he
for it or
did.
not.
That
I
was
think
my
he did.
concern, but I think he did.
I
Actually,
think
we
he
never
did. He
see
just
him pay.
didn't
We
eat
never
it.
actually see him pay for either, but it's assumed that he did, or it's
Yeah, well,
implied that he
well,
did.
he says that you'll buy two at
Yeah,
least for the
where
second
does he
time. But
get
yeah,
money?
I mean, I assume potentially the crows give him money
Yeah, that's the
to
only
do
logical
missions.
thing I can explain. That's the only logical explanation there can be is that after he finishes the mission, the crow's like, "Okay, open your hands. Here's some cash."
Yeah, I'd have to imagine that'd be the case.
Uh,
Yeah. So
Damn it.
we get.
Sorry, I was looking at the wiki and I just got it spoiled for myself. This is why you don't
I
read the
don't.
wiki, folks.
Yeah, this is why.
I was
This
looking
is
up a
why.
name and then I just idly was scrolling and then whoops.
Just
Nothing
stay
too
off the
major.
wiki. I'll
Yeah,
just stay off the wiki. I'll do the searching.
yeah.
um, if it isn't too important, just don't worry about it. Um,
Eh, it's something with the epilogue, but
what epilogue?
like after the final
Of like
battle.
the after. Oh, like after that. Oh, I see. Um, we get like a little bit of like Tamio's history and that like he's a demon, but like he found a way to make it so that she doesn't have to eat humans and just take like blood in little bits.
Yes.
And also that it took her like 200 years to turn Yushiro into a demon.
Yeah. How does she have that ability?
I assume it just comes with time, but like
Okay.
it takes a long time.
Has she been living in this city for 200 years?
Probably not.
I
She's
would
probably
hope
been moving
not.
around.
I would
Probably
hope
been
so.
moving around, but
Yeah, she would have to be moving around, otherwise other people would notice.
yeah.
But she also makes a comment that, you know, I believe the townspeople are starting to suspect I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah. So probably,
50-50.
probably I'd say more like probably like 75-25, but
I think she's been moving around, but she's been in this place for a while.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What are your just
so does that mean
thoughts
any
on?
demon could turn? So if Tamayo spent all that time learning it, does that mean anyone can do it, or is it just one of her blood arts?
I mean, I don't think like really like her doing the stuff that she did had to do with her blood arts. I'm more of that she over time just figured out like doctorate stuff that would help with that
Okay.
sort of thing. Maybe just enough time like
So do you,
examining like her own blood, she
yeah,
was able to figure it out maybe, but I
do you
couldn't fully
think
tell you.
hers is more like of an injection, or do you think it's more like Muzin, where it's just a swipe of the neck?
Um, I think I don't think that's like the only way you have to give blood. So I
Yeah,
mean, imagine there was a more humane way to doing it. We
yeah.
don't fully see it with Yushiro. We just see her
So
asking him.
is you sure the only one she's turned, or has there been others?
I'm unsure. I think just Yushiro, but that's all I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I get what you're saying at because what she says does kind of imply another, but
Yeah.
I don't know
Because
if that
also she
exists
gave
not or
Yushiro the
not.
option. Do you think she gives
Hmm.
everyone that option?
Maybe like some select people she runs across.
Yeah, someone she like people she feels like she can trust with this information.
Hmm.
Okay, that's fair.
But, yeah, just your thoughts on Tamio's like whole process and kind of history we get here.
I like that there are peaceful demons.
Yeah, at least these two are.
Yeah.
Most probably aren't, but
No, but now we've met three peaceful demons.
At least that can be on the ally side.
Yes.
Which she makes a proposal to figure out a cure for Nezuko to turn her back into a human.
Yes, and
But
that
it
requires him getting
requires
blood from like the
uh,
ones that are closest to him.
mhm,
Closest to Muzan. Sorry, let me clarify that.
yeah, closest to Muzan, which we'll learn later in this arc, are called the 12 Kizuki.
Yes. Yes, Kiseki.
Um,
How many? How many? Okay, just a quick. How many seasons do you think there will be of Demon Slayer?
um, if I had to guess, I'd probably say about maybe like one more season after this, and then like two movies to finish off the thing, or either
You
one
think?
another season.
You think they'll end it with movies?
It could because you might want the movie budget for
That would
final
make,
arc.
and that would be cool. Getting a movie budget for a final arc. I think most series should do that.
It's mostly just because Ufotable also like definitely likes to hype up like big stuff like that because because they
Yeah.
do like the Fate properties, and so basically they didn't adapt like the first like the original Fate Stay Night, but they adapted Unlimited Blade Works into two seasons. Then there's a third route to Fate Stay Night, which was called Heaven's Feel, which they adapted into three movies, and apparently they're pretty good, but I don't know Fate series that well.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be.
Because
Yeah. I think a lot of anime should get increased budgets for their final season just to make it end on a high note.
yeah, unfortunately, it just kind of depends on the popularity. Luckily, Demon Slayer is really popular, so
Yeah. I mean, like, I think most popular anime should get an increased budget.
I wish, but sadly, it doesn't work that way
Yeah.
most of the time. But
So yeah. So
um,
okay. Do we meet? I know the next arc, like in this episode, we meet a former member of
yes,
the 12 Kizuki. Do we meet an actual one by the end of the season?
yes,
Okay. That would make. Oh, I'm guessing that's Spider Lady then.
yeah, it's like the next arc after this, but yeah.
Nice.
Um, yeah. So, if I don't think we get like an exact explanation on it at this point, but so we just know with the 12 Kizuki basically,
Yeah,
and they are very close to Muzan.
they're the
That's
12
pretty much all we
strongest
know at the.
demons, right?
That's all we know at this point.
Yeah. What is Nezuko's blood art? Do we find that out later?
I mean, we only know like just a little bit about it, really, right
Okay.
now. Well, at least at where I'm at, like recently,
How
I
far ahead
watched
are
through
you?
just through the movie, basically.
Okay. Cool. So, okay, was
um,
the movie adapted from manga or was it like an original property?
it was adapted from manga.
Okay, cool.
It's
Was it
chronologically the next arc.
so was it that important? Like it deserved its own movie,
um,
or is that just to hype up the next season?
I mean, I think when it came to I think it had to do with the character that's involved as
Yeah,
like a major character in the
yeah, that's
movie
fair.
that had
Okay,
pretty high popularity, I think.
okay, yeah, I know
Just
who you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
also the arc itself was pretty short enough that movie length was kind of perfect for it as well. So,
Cool.
um yeah. And so basically at this point we get the I forget their names, but I'm just gonna call them the Tamari demon and like the directional demon
The names
fight.
are in the wiki for what's his.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want. I don't feel like pulling it up.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. Um, yeah, and they're tracking because the guy with the eyes on his hand. Um, he can see their footsteps, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or at least I think it was like their direction.
yeah, that.
So we get into the fight. What did you think of the fights?
I really liked how well they worked together and how powerful those balls were. Like, holy heck, those were some strong balls.
Yeah, I know they were. Honestly, I'm really like the way that like manga like this is where I think like just like the anime definitely like benefits in the fight scenes because like the dynamic camera and whatnot
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Like, watching the
with
camera
the
pan around was so fascinating because, like, you don't usually see that in
mhm,
anime.
mhm. Yeah, especially with like the arrows and where it sends Tanjiro flying and whatnot.
Yeah, that was so cool. And then, okay, wait, thinking.
Also, really like the arrow effect added on the water and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool. But, it was also cool. So I didn't even realize the arrow guy was helping out until Tanjiro got that vision. I thought that was just her power. She could control the balls freely like that.
Yeah, no, because he had to get assistance from Yushiro with the like the tag and whatnot to be able to see the
Yeah,
arrows.
yeah. So, what was that? Was that like Yushiro using his blood art to help?
I think it may have just been because I'm not entirely sure because I don't think we, at least not from what I've seen so far, we haven't had another situation like this where like a demon's art is not seeable by humans.
Yeah, interesting. Um,
I don't know
yeah,
if it's just because he could like conceal it very well, or if it's just because the like it's like basically just like a directional thing that like could only be effective like invisibly instead of like physically.
maybe.
It's like most because most of like the demon arts we see after this are like pretty physical things. So
Yeah. So what do you think it was? Do you think it was just like an entity of force, or do you think it was just like air pressure or something, or like wind?
I think it was like kind of like an entity of force sort of thing.
Okay.
You know, like he
Yeah.
can like basically like it's not like he's sending it out, but it's more of like his eyes can project like this force of direction on stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Um, so it was funny watching him get bodied. The arrow guy watching him get bodied by Nezuko when Tanjiro sends her after him at the start.
Yeah, you had that intense kicking match between the Tamari and Nezuko.
That was also
Tamari
hilarious. It's
getting
like, no, don't kick it. Just her leg gets clear. Gets cleaved off by the ball.
at least the first time.
So what changed? Is she just like that strong?
I think it's maybe just that she's growing accustomed to her demon powers, basically at
Okay.
this rate.
Because they don't really explain it. Like they specifically state, well, I don't know what happened. She just was able to start kicking it.
Mhm.
She's just that strong.
Yeah, no, I think it's just more of like acclimating to the powers that she has in her.
That's fair. Um, but yeah, the kicking match was cool. It is interesting because I live on the internet and I live on
Mhm.
like anime internet, so I
Mhm.
see clips from shows that I don't watch, and
Mhm.
I have seen a lot of the clips up until this point. Like I knew who Muzin was. I didn't know like his full thing, but I knew what he looked like. But I had
Mhm.
also seen clips of the show so far, so like I
Yeah,
knew
no, I think the kicking match got kind of memed. I think,
it did.
or at least I definitely remember it getting clipped at least.
Yeah, and I know I've seen a picture of I don't know what it is, like Zenitsu, like something with a cup, and Zenitsu like does a fake out splash, and it says something about I would never splash a lady. I don't know exactly when that takes place, but I know I've seen it somewhere.
It may take place in like the extra after end credit stuff,
Okay.
essentially, but I'm not entirely sure.
Um. Yeah. It's like I think what the thing was. It's like they're sitting on opposite sides of the table, and then they both rush to grab something. And yeah.
Oh, that comes later. I see.
Okay.
I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I've seen
Gotcha.
that before, and I've seen this fight. I don't know, and I mean, I also have seen the characters, but I'm trying to think because there was something I know I've seen. Like, I've seen, obviously, the spoiler for the movie. I live on the internet. Nothing usually gets past me, whether I want it
Mhm,
to or not. So it's like I know what happens in the movie.
mhm.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Tanjiro finishes off the eye direction demon, and then Tamayo
I
gives
think
like
it then just gets bodied by him while the guy's disintegrating.
oh yeah, because
Like,
he
he took
in a
so long to
desperate
die.
yeah, because in a desperation move, basically as he was disintegrating, he
Yeah, but I think he took the longest to die, like, to, like, disintegrate out of any demon. What was up with that?
it could just be the stronger the demons, the longer it takes for them to disintegrate.
Maybe. It was, I mean, it was fascinating watching Tanjiro get tossed around like a rag doll. It was also fascinating seeing him use his water breathing techniques to, or,
To break the fall. Yeah.
yeah, to break the fall or just to cushion any damage. It was so cool. And then seeing
Mhm.
him combine the moves to like do that whirlpool dancing move to like contain all of the force and then cut the guy's head off. That was so cool.
Yeah, no, it honestly, like, though we may not like talk about the fights that much, I really do love like because like I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I really do love Tanjiro's like a lot of the ingenuity in a lot of shonen battles sometimes when like the characters can actually like think like ahead and whatnot
Oh
on
yeah,
how to do
it's
stuff.
so fascinating seeing them. It's like, hey, we have these abilities now. What if we go crazy with them?
Mhm.
Yeah, I that's why I enjoy watching shows like these because like it's like, hey, I can do that. I have these abilities now. What if I just combine them together to have a super move?
Exactly.
Like, I hope we see more of that with Midoriya and his abilities in the manga. Like, I hope we see more of him combining those things to do super attacks. I'm not really sure. See, I don't know what his full abilities are. I know I should probably know at this point, but I don't remember what all of them do.
That's fine. I mean, technically, this stuff hasn't been fully animated yet, so I mean, you know,
Yeah, but I
you're a
also have
mo-
been I've been like off and on reading the manga since the end of
I
the
mean,
war.
even as like a manga reader, I don't think we fully know all of his powers yet. But
Yeah,
anyways,
so
just
like the thirds is the smoke screen, and then second I don't know at all. Like they have a name for it. They don't really explain what it does, as far as I'm aware, or it's really
yeah, I don't
flimsily explained.
I don't quite remember. But anyways, just getting back to
Back to the right show, right back to the show that this episode's on.
yeah, no, just to finish it off, Tanya does her I think she does like another demon like blood
Yeah,
art
she does a spell
against
which like
the
makes it so
against
people
to speak the truth.
makes them less speak the truth. Yeah, but that's one of the options. Makes them less mentally strong.
Mhm.
Makes them more loose-lipped and unable to like lie.
Mhm. And basically, so she like I think like kind of starts talking, but then like the Muzan blood in her rips her apart.
Yeah, she actually says Muzan's full name, which surprisingly enough does not have Muzan in it. I don't think she actually said Muzan, but she said his other name with something else in there. I don't remember what exactly she said, but I do not remember hearing Muzan in it. Like, I knew who she was talking about. She said, what's Muzan?" Okay, I'm gonna feel really dumb. Muzan is his first or last name.
Muzan is his first name, but I don't think a lot of people knew that his
Hitsubushi, right?
Ibutsuji, yeah.
Ibutsuji. Yeah,
Is,
I know Ibutsuji was said, but there was a different name said before that.
I mean, it could be another name potentially.
Yeah, I'd be curious what Itsubushi's.
I don't quite remember this, and I didn't like take notes on it or anything because I thought it was just
I'd
the
look,
regular
but I
Muzan
don't want to get
Kibutsuji, but
spoiled again.
yeah, I mean,
Because I
I
remember
can
reading, it's like I remember listening to it, it's like, that's weird. It's like I know who she's talking about because of what happened, but she said a different name,
uh
I swear.
I just look it up real quick. Just
Yeah.
talk about
What was the Validi's name?
old lady's name. Let me just got it. Yeah, I'll get it in just a sec. I'm already like on.
Susumara. Susumaru.
Yeah, Susumaru and Yahaba are the two names of the demons. Um, yeah, I got the um
Maybe she did. I don't remember hearing Muzan. I thought it was weird.
maybe they just mention him as Kibutsuji instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll watch the episode later and get confirmed. I'll rewatch the episode when we're done.
Yeah, just like looking at the scene because I pulled it up in the manga. It just seems like Kibutsuji.
Okay, so she just starts saying it and then is immediately killed.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting.
I believe it's like Tamio mentions like something along the lines of like Muzan is
Tamio
like
can say
weak
it,
or a
right?
coward or something like that. Muzan Kibutsuji. She says both Muzan and Kibutsuji. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. And I was looking at Tamio can say it because her abilities allow her to remove those curses.
Yeah, she removed her curse from Muzan.
Yes, so she can say it, but not anyone else.
At least not demons.
Yes.
Yes, they fear the wrath of Muzan.
Yes, the Wrath of Muzan.
But so anyways, in like the dying moments, I think we kind of see a like we get kind of a bit of a parallel between like what Tanjiro and Muzan's thoughts are at like when a demon dies and whatnot.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
One more time. Sorry, I spaced out for a second. What was that?
Just basically like how Tanjiro feels more sympathetic towards demons when they die compared to Muzan, who just sees them
Doesn't
as
care.
yeah,
It shows that Tanjiro actually has a heart.
yeah.
But
I,
it was really sweet and sad, as Susiyama, or whatever his name is, I just forgot it again,
it's fine.
was dying. As she was dying and starting to fade away from the sunlight, um, she asks for her ball and asks for Tanjiro to play with her as she's dying. And I thought that
Yeah,
was so sad.
yeah. Tanjiro, like when it comes to like human deaths, it definitely seems like he's more sympathetic towards them.
Yeah, like he usually gives them their last wishes and rights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he held the hand of the
Yeah.
demon from the final selection, and then he sat with the bald lady as she died.
Mm-hmm. It's like I definitely think it just gives like a good comparison to like
They're kind of like
what they
foils.
think of them. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think that's the easiest way of describing it. They're just foils of each other.
Exactly. That was the term I was looking for.
English
um,
is my. I've done too many English classes.
but so basically we get known that these demons weren't like on the level of the Kizuki, even though they were really powerful. They aren't even the most powerful thing that we could face yet.
Which must be terrifying to be in Tanjiro's footsteps at that point. It's like these guys whoop my butt, and they're not the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Also, it was so cool watching Tanjiro with a broken leg and a broken rib, grabbing the sword in his mouth and crawling over back to the other fight to try and help out whatever way he could.
Yeah, no, because he didn't want like them to get killed and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They can't get killed, right?
I mean, at least not easily. I mean, it probably is a lot of pain though.
I think it's actually stated that the only Tomio mentions it that it's pointless for demons to fight because they can't kill each other.
Yeah,
The only way a demon can die is by the sword of a demon slayer or by sunlight. Like demons can't kill each other even if they wanted to.
I guess maybe that was it, just because he's the only one who could kill him.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know if he knew that at that point in time, but it is mentioned in this art that I think it was mentioned like at the end of the fight that Tommy was like, "Yeah, fighting between demons is pointless because we can't kill each other even if we wanted to."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we get into the wrap up for this arc at this point, where I believe other than the demon statement, we get Mio treating Tanjiro a little bit,
Yes.
and
Oh, also, I yeah, I was totally. I remember it. I remember at the start of the fight. What's the guy's? What's the Tomio's helper's name?
Ishiro.
Yeah, Yushiro getting his head blown off by the ball,
Oh yeah.
and then it was so weird watching it regrow and like having just a jaw and it was talking to Tamio.
I mean, that's how it works.
It's how it works. It's weird, but it's how it works. So what
Mhm.
happens to his head? The head that was like, so say instead of the head being exploded, it was just like cleaved off. What would happen to that head? Would it disintegrate?
I mean, I think it would just
What
eventually
would
disintegrate in
regrow the
sunlight.
body? Which part would regrow the body? The head or the body? Would the body regrow a head or would the head regrow a body?
Oh, by the looks of it, it seems like both can technically happen, as we saw with that demon from that Tanjiro faced before meeting Orokodaki. But
Right, that's right. Or I don't think the body can regrow a head. I think the head can grow arms and then can reattach itself to the body.
potentially that might be it.
What happens to those arms in that point? Does the arms just like disappear?
Honestly, I don't know.
And can all demons grow extra arms? Because Ball Lady did it. The demon from the final selection did it.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
Hmm, things to think about. Yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting power facet, and they just don't explain it at all.
Yeah,
Do they ever explain it?
I don't think so, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of hard to explain. Probably just
Yeah.
the easy route and just didn't. Hey, this is the thing that happens. Get used to it.
But otherwise, and so then we get into Zenitsu's introduction.
Yes, Zenitsu, the whiniest character of them all. Also one of the coolest, and but we'll get into that later on. Zenitsu just fascinates me.
Mhm. So Tanjiro meets Zenitsu proposing to this lady because he's complaining about not wanting to die.
Alone.
Um, mhm.
He doesn't specifically. He doesn't want to die alone.
Yes. And it's at this point that we get the infamous Tanjiro disgust faces.
Yes.
Have you seen those memes?
I can't say I have. Let me look it up. Tanjiro disgust face.
Tanjiro disgust face memes. It's hilarious.
Disgusted face. Oh yeah. Yeah. That sure looks like a meme.
um. So basically, yeah. Basically, both Tanjiro and Zenitsu were put on the same mission to go to like, this mansion,
Yeah.
to which you run into two siblings whose older brother is stuck in the house currently.
Yes.
And so basically, when they head in, um, yeah, the mansion just decides to change.
Yes. And then we get some of the. I feel like they easily could have drawn this out a little longer and could have had some cool combat, but I think it also was the perfect length. Like they could have easily just made it longer, but they didn't, and I'm happy they didn't.
Yeah. I think it was the right amount of length, anyways.
Yeah.
But
I think the only
like
thing that
especially just
could have
because
been
it's like
maybe cooler is having Tanjiro, like having to just constant, like as soon as Tanjiro gets close to the demon, bam, bam, house changes, and he has to keep like chasing him down until he can sneak up on him.
yeah. I'd also just like think like we get enough time of Zenitsu and Inosuke's introduction to like kind of get a sense for how they fight and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
So
It seems like it could have been. It feels like that would have been more of an abridged joke, though. Like an abridged version of the show joke. As soon as Tanjiro gets close, the house changes, and he has to keep like running through.
yeah. But yeah. So basically, from this like through the moving mansion, basically Tanjiro runs into Inosuke, while Zenichi runs into the older brother who has what is called Marechi blood.
No,
Which,
other way around. Other way around. Actually, no. Hold on. Zenitsu never runs into the brother. It's Tanjiro that runs into him.
I thought it was Zenitsu. It did.
No, Tanjiro runs into him because he's the one banging the drum that changes the house.
Yeah, no, he runs into the former 12 Kiseki, but I don't think he runs
No,
into
no,
the
no. The
older
one
brother.
that's changing the house is the brother with the blood.
Oh, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it isn't.
I just watched the episodes yesterday. The one, so there's the demon with 3 drums. He's missing a 4th drum. That 4th drum
Yes.
is in the hands of the kid with the blood, and
Oh,
he's been changing the
yes.
house every time the
Oh,
demon gets close.
that's what you meant. Then yes.
Yeah, he's the
Sorry,
one
I was
changing the house,
misunderstanding
and
you.
uh, Tanjiro's the one that meets him and talks to him. Zenitsu kind of runs around, runs away I think he runs into Inosuke at one point, and then they
I'm pretty sure it
disappear.
was Tanjiro the one.
Tanjiro
At
definitely runs
least,
into him, but I
yeah.
think Zenitsu also runs into him at some
Maybe it
point.
was just Zenitsu was with the younger siblings and he had
Yes,
to defend
Zenitsu
it.
was with the younger brother. Tanjiro had the younger sister,
Uh,
and Inosuke's just there.
yes, Inosuke was very much just there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, anyways, getting back to it, we get introduced to the Marechi blood, which basically is blood that is.
Is it 100 or 1,000?
I think it's meant to be like it was like either 50 or 100. I think is what it's meant to represent for people.
Yeah, it's like 100 meals for a demon. It's like 100. It's like
Yeah.
the Marachi blood is like what is basically the equivalent to eating 100 other people.
Mm-hmm. So they are very much sought after.
Is this a plot point ever again? It feels like this was just like a one and done thing.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It feels pretty important by the way they
It
bring it up,
does,
but I
but it
mean,
also feels like something that's not really going to be explained again. I think the only time I think if they ever mention Morechi blood again, they'll just mention that um Muzan likes hunting those people down himself.
yeah. But I mean, it's also like the demon hunter ranks that I feel are very much pointless after like, their
Yeah, it's like
introduction.
they exist. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, I mean, there's only really one other rank. Like, there's really only one rank of demon slayer that matters, and that's a Hashira. But
Is that the highest rank?
yeah.
How do you even move
Which
up in the ranks?
I don't know. Really specified, at least from what we've seen so far.
Because like, would
Um,
killing one of the 12 Kiseki like immediately fast track you to the top? It feels like it
I
should.
don't think so.
It doesn't, but it feels like it should, right?
I mean, sure, but I don't think that's necessarily how it works.
It is probably isn't, but you proved that you can kill the strongest demons. I don't know. It feels like that should get you a boost in the ranks.
I mean, I don't know.
It may be like
But
a
anyway,
mission thing, like how many missions you do.
potentially. I don't know. From what I've seen so far, it hasn't really been expanded on. Just
I I think it's one of those things that it probably won't be.
we just get the formal introduction of like Hashira ranks
Yeah.
next arc, though kind of hinted at prior. Anyways,
Are those the ones the silhouettes we see in the intro? 'Cause I know we
um,
see like Rengoku and the other ones.
oh yeah, yeah.
That was also the name of the guy who I couldn't remember earlier.
It's Rengoku. Anyways,
He's definitely not important.
so then we get the so we get Zenitsu battling that one demon.
Did he do it asleep?
Yeah, basically, Zenitsu is at his strongest when he's either knocked out or asleep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That
Consciously, he's too scared to fight.
so he can only fight when he's unconscious?
Pretty much.
How does that work?
I mean,
Probably just as a gag thing.
not really a gag thing. It's really more of it's like kind of a trope of where like if a character gets knocked out, they suddenly have like an alternate personality that's a lot stronger and
So can he only use his electric thunder art when he's asleep?
no, he can use it when he's awake. He's just more
Scared.
scared to fight when he's awake.
Okay, I have an idea.
It holds him
What if we
back.
got him like really drunk before a fight? You think that would make him more able to fight?
I mean, hypothetically, potentially.
I mean, you lose your inhibitions when you're drunk, so would that make him more or less scared?
Would make him less, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Idea.
Like
We'll just start boozing him up before every fight, and then throw him at the enemies.
yes, of course. Obviously, do that to a 16-year-old. Clearly,
Obviously. I mean, isn't that the drinking age over there?
oh, it's 20.
Is it really?
hmm
Wow. Interesting. With the other age thing, that kind of actually surprises me.
There are laws that make it higher in most prefectures as well. That other thing that you're referring to.
Ah, okay, cool.
Um. Um. Yeah. So Zenitsu takes out that demon, and we get this like comment from Tanjiro, and also like a bit of the narrator as well, like with the whole inhibitions thing. But
There's a narrator?
basically, or at least there wasn't like the manga. I don't know. They probably changed it in the anime to have like
I
Tanjiro
don't
saying
remember there
it.
being a narrator.
Yeah, it's just at least the way I'm reading it.
Oh.
Um,
Wait, so Tanjiro mentions inhibitions?
well, more if he mentions that he sensed that Zenitsu was a strong person. His smell.
Oh, yeah. No, okay, in the anime, I think you're the only time Zenitsu mentioned or Tanjiro mentions knowing something about Zenitsu, he said he knew Zenitsu was a good person, and that's why he let him tag along. But that was when they were in the mansion or the
The
manor
Wisteria,
at the
Wisteria
Wisteria,
Crest House.
the
Yeah,
Wisteria Crest house after it was discovered that Zenitsu knew there was a demon in the box and still protected it.
yeah. I mean, it could be just maybe a thing from the manga and
I
whatnot,
think it is.
but
Did he mention it in like the house, the mansion that they were
yeah,
in
it was
currently?
like it's kind of like an offhand line, like,
Or did
and it
he just
was
like
like
in the middle of fighting? I knew Zenitsu was strong.
because like he felt because he feels like he doesn't smell, but more of like he feels the shockwaves, you know.
Oh yeah, no, that was not mentioned at all in the anime. But that is
Yeah,
cool. No, actually, you know, it would have been cool if he smelt the ozone or like the lightning, because you can kind of smell
I don't
lightning.
know if I don't know if the lightning breath works the same way as like actual lightning though.
Maybe I don't know. Would be interesting.
Yeah,
Just like he gives off a real heavy stench of like ozone.
yeah. But then we get the former 12 Keys backstory, basically that
He was a writer. Was that his father who was bullying him, or
either a writer or publisher.
uh, oh
Um,
wait, writer? I meant father.
I meant father or publisher. I don't know why I
Okay.
said writer. I meant father.
Oh, because you heard
Um,
me say writer.
yeah, probably. Um, yeah, but also his like his time as a demon, we see like basically how Muzan cast him out of the 12 Keys key because he hadn't been playing on humans as much
Yeah, because he
recently.
was he okay? So the way I understand it, now that I look back, he was focusing on his writing and moves and got angry that he wasn't killing.
Yeah, I mean, it was also that he wasn't getting as many humans in his mansion as well.
Yep,
So,
that seems like a kind of like a no offense, it kind of seems like a stupid part on Muzan to make him part of the 12 Keys to Keep when his powers only work in his house.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you think if you want your 12 Keys to Keep, you're gonna want them to be mobile and can go anywhere.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know how long that demon's been around, so I mean, it could have been in a very populated area at one point.
That's fair.
Um,
I wonder how
yeah.
old Muzan actually is. And was Muzan like the
I,
first demon? Because I think that's kind of implied.
yeah, he is the first demon. How old he is, I mean, I don't know, like, exact age, but it's at least implied around, like, 500 or so.
I'm also curious
Like, and
how.
that's just as a minimum.
I really hope we figure out how we learn how Muzan became a demon at some point.
Most likely will. I mean,
I
considering he's the final villain and
I
whatnot.
imagine I imagine like with the rest of the demons, we'll get his tragic backstory when he's killed.
Or at least sometime close to it.
Yeah. I think the only demons we haven't got a tragic backstory for was the one at the temple, and we got like somewhat of the sad story of the ball girl, but we got nothing for Arrow Boy.
Yeah. For the first mission guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't get anything from First Mission Guy, did we? I thought we did. No, we
I don't
didn't.
think. I'm like, I don't think we did.
I don't know,
I
I
might
just
be
remember
misremembering.
I remember there was a Team Four Star. I don't know if it's Team Four Star, but it was definitely Kaiser Neko. There was a joke about, you know, it's like, well, you're a bad demon, so I'm gonna kill you now. It's like, okay, but I'm gonna give you my tragic backstory first, so you feel bad about it. That's fair.
That's fair. Does seem like Team 4-star humor.
Yes. Also,
Bad,
I
but
have to admit, I have to say, Kaiser Neko is the perfect cast for an abridged Tundra because they sound identical.
yeah.
Like I said it last episode, I'll say it again. Tanjiro sounds like Kaiser Neko's future Trunks. Like I
Yeah.
sometimes I forget I'm watching the official dub and I'm not listening to like an abridged thing just because of the voice.
I mean, honestly, the sub isn't all too different either.
Yeah.
That as well. Um, yeah. So, and then we get Tanjiro's fight with the former 12 Keys key.
It was so cool watching him adapt to all of the gravity changes
While also having to be careful of his broken ribs because they
and
weren't
arm.
completely healed.
Was it a leg or an arm? It was a leg. He broke his leg.
Mhm. Just also like that his sustained damage actually carried over and whatnot.
Yeah, like, and he also mentions that he's been going nonstop. Like this whole time, he's been fighting with injuries. He hasn't had a time to rest.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice because we finally get a time to rest at the end of this. But
I also found an image that I remember from the episode and was hilarious. It's the image of Inosuke Tanjiro and Zenitsu laying down together, and it's just 2 ribs, 3 ribs, 4 ribs.
yeah, no, honestly, it was a hilarious panel as well.
Yeah, this series has a lot of good jokes.
Yeah, no, honestly, it does really good with the gags. Honestly,
Yeah,
when they happen.
yeah.
But so yeah, but no, getting back to like the 12 Kiski fight, I really do also like the camera work done with it because the
Oh,
room's shifting around and whatnot.
the camera work in this anime is probably the best I've ever seen in
Mm-hmm.
an anime. Cause like,
Like Ufotable does really good at it, and they managed to do this by having basically the characters are drawn in 2D, but the entire area they're in is all like CG.
yeah,
So
it
I don't know if I mentioned this
feels
before, but
like yeah, I think you mentioned it last time. It feels like a like an actual movie budget when I see stuff like this.
mhm. Yeah.
Because like I wish more shows did this. Like I wish My Hero had 3D camera movement in fights.
Yeah, I just definitely think it did take Ufotable time to get to that point, so
Yeah.
it's not like an easy switch.
No, and I would think not, but it's so cool watching, especially in the arrow fight. That was so cool watching the camera pan
Mhm.
around as he like dodges all of the arrows and then does
Yeah. I really like the arrow fight, and then just the rotating of the room and whatnot. Also
Yes.
well done as well.
Yeah, no, this anime is nothing if not beautiful.
Like that is like one thing that the like because of the rotating room, it just comes off so much better in the anime than it does in the manga.
Yeah, I would think so. I think it would be hard to get the same effect.
Yeah, no, it really is.
There's a reason I prefer watching anime to manga is because you actually get a feel for what the action looks like, you know? Sure,
Yeah,
manga can
no,
be drawn beautifully, but you still can't you can't always 100% translate what you want for like combat and moves and stuff.
oh no, I 100% agree. I just also like to see what the author originally intended the work to
Yeah,
be like.
and that's also fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then Tanjiro finishes off the former 12 Kizuki, and basically he heads back outside, and
Oh, yeah, also, he gives him his like, I thought your blood art was amazing. And
oh yeah, yeah,
and then as the guy's fading out, it's like this kid appreciated not only my blood art, but also was respectful enough not to step on my work,
hmm
not to step on my story. 'Cause I think like Tanjiro noticed that when he stepped on the story, the guy got extra angry, so he's like, okay, well, let's not step on that.
yeah. It's like I think Tanjiro figured it must be very important to him, so
Yeah. Also, wasn't there a scene? Yeah. Uh, During the fight, we get a flash to Zenitsu and the younger brother, and then Bongo the Bongo, and then he just like flies through the house, and then gets shot
Oh
outside.
yeah,
Apparently,
yeah,
conks his head real good because he wakes up and it's bleeding.
yeah. Oh, that's not where all his bruises come from when Tanjiro finds Zenitsu once he gets out of the mansion.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of,
Also, I really like that it's just a throwaway gag that Zenitsu probably hit his head on a rock and his skull is bleeding, and just nothing does nothing about it.
yeah.
Like, this is okay. I'm bleeding from the back of my head. This is fine.
I mean, they're probably already in a lot of pain already. So I mean, what's a bit more?
Yeah, what's a cracked skull?
Yeah. So
And then yeah,
basically,
Tanjiro saves, goes and gets the brother and the sister, and then they leave the house.
which he sees a need to be protecting the box, to which we flash back a bit.
Yeah, we
See,
see Tanjiro, or we see Inosuke just wailing on Zenitsu.
mhm. There's like this little moment in Zenitsu protecting the box, like where we also get a mention of his really good hearing.
Yeah.
So there's that emphasized
Oh, also, it was
feeling.
emphasized at the start of the house, right before they went in. Zenitsu mentions he can hear something, and Tanjiro's like, "What do you mean? I don't hear anything."
Mhm. So yeah, so basically Zenitsu said like he trusts Tanjiro a lot because of he sounded like a very good and honest person and whatnot.
Yeah, I think he also said he sounds relaxing and calm.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Zenitsu mentions like I can hear people, and I can hear like I can tell when people are lying because I can hear like their bodies. But even though I can hear when they're lying, sometimes I still screw myself over because I like to trust people.
Mm-hmm.
Which, good. I mean, nice on him for trusting people. But if you can tell when people are lying, you probably should trust that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more of like wanting to have faith in people over like having faith in your senses and whatnot.
Yeah, true.
I mean, even then though, it's kind of a bit like tragic in a way.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Tundra and Inosuke get into a bit of a headbutt match, and we see what Inosuke looks like without the boar mask on.
Also, they make a comment on. Oh wait, no, that comment comes next. I still love how you know Inosuke looks nothing like what you would expect him to look like.
Underneath, yeah,
Yeah.
that's very much the gag.
I also love how, Zenitsu mentions, "Hey, I know you. You were that fifth person that survived the final selection." And Tanjiro just doesn't comment on that because Tanjiro never saw him. Tanjiro's like, "Oh, okay. Sounds good
Yeah,
to me." So, okay, he got his first sword by stealing it from someone, right? He battled a demon slayer, and the demon slayer lost.
I believe so.
Also, he has his own art. It was beast art, right? Or
Yeah,
beast
beast
breathing.
breathing.
I want to see more of that. I hope we see more of it soon.
Oh, I mean, considering he's traveling with the party, we will at some point.
Okay, so we have water, we have electricity, now we have beast. I'm gonna take a guess, but looking at Rengoku, he's gonna have fire breathing. Is that right?
I mean, is it not obvious?
Yeah.
His design has a whole bunch of flames on him.
Yeah. Do we ever get a main party member that has fire breathing? Is that gonna be the guy with the ugly scar from the final selection? Does he have fire breathing?
I honestly don't know what he has,
Yeah.
so I can tell you. I
Fair enough. Fair enough. I wonder
don't
what
actually
butterfly
know what the
lady.
other. I don't know what either of the two's breathings are.
Yeah. Okay, so I know there are two butterfly ladies. Is the younger one the sister of the older one?
Adopted sister, but yes,
Okay, cool. So
we'll get
yeah,
more of that
I
towards the
also
end.
live on the cosplay side of the internet, so I also know a lot of what the characters look like. I don't know anything about them other than they exist.
Mhm. So, anyways, basically, the party decides to go rest up at the house.
Actually, they get
Was
told to.
yeah.
The crow's like, "Go to the bottom of the house." Actually, no. There was actually one of the scene that I thought was hilarious. So after Tundra headbutts him, Inosuke gets a concussion and conks out.
Mhm.
And then Zenitsu makes a mention on it, like Tanjiro having a really strong head. Is there anything about that, or is it
Not really.
just a thing?
It's the thing.
Okay. And then when Inosuke wakes up, Tanjiro and everyone they're building graves for everyone. He's like, "Why are you doing that?" And then Tanjiro just plays him like a cheap kazoo and gets him to
Yeah.
help. He's like, "Oh, I get it. You just process. You're just sad. You don't want to do it because you process differently." It's like I'm gonna help better than everyone else.
Yeah. No. No,
He's like
it's really.
Bakugo in that if you want him to do something, you have to say he can't do it, and then he'll prove you wrong.
Mhm. Basically, it's coercing his ego.
Yeah, you just gotta. I do recognize that Inosuke and Bakugo are very similar.
Although Inosuke isn't as brash, I think, as Mako.
Yeah,
In
but
cases.
you can easily get them to do what you want by saying they can't do it.
Yeah. No, they do share kind of similar vibes.
Yeah, Inosuke doesn't seem
Um.
like as much of a tool. He just seems like a kid who grew up in the wild and doesn't really understand how people work.
But anyways, at the Wisteria house, we get the scene that we mentioned before with the broken ribs.
Yes, they all have broken ribs. Uh, Tanjiro broke four of Inosuke's ribs by kicking him in the chest. Or did he punch him? I don't know. He did something to Inosuke and broke four of his ribs in one go. Arrow Guy broke three of Tanjiro's ribs. How did Zenitsu break two? He probably broke two ribs in his fall.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to feel like some of it was just maybe just because of the mansion.
Yeah,
At least maybe one or
yeah.
two.
One of his two ribs is probably from the fall, if not both of them.
Yeah.
How is Tanjiro walking on a broken leg?
I mean, you can limp, right?
He was not limping.
I mean, you can walk on a broken leg. It's just not.
Excruciatingly painful, yeah.
I'm like, it's not fun. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I mean, there's a difference between like breaking your leg to the point where you can't walk on it, and then like fracturing it, where you
I
can
wonder
walk
if
on it, but
they
it's
have
extremely painful.
I wonder if they have like some healing thing that's gonna heal them up for the next episode. Or are they just gonna be injured for the rest of the season?
I mean, I think they take like about like a month off there or
Oh,
something like
okay,
that.
yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, we didn't really. It's like I don't know how long they stay here. It's just I know they end off the night.
Like, I don't think they specify a time, but it seems like around like a month or so.
Okay,
Time is passing.
did the episode end? How did the episode end off? Did the episode end off on Zenitsu and like not Zenitsu on um I know her name. I know her name.
Years ago,
Nezuko leaving the box.
I felt like that was like halfway through the
I think
episode,
that was at the
but I don't
very
know.
end. Either that or I
It
didn't
could be
finish the
towards the
episode.
end.
Here, let me, because I
No,
could
I'm not.
like I know Zenitsu like confesses his love for um,
Yeah,
but I don't remember seeing that in this episode. So I don't think
I'm
he
not.
actually saw her.
Not quite too sure where the episode ends for that. I just know like I haven't left it yet entirely, at least for my reading. So
Here, let me just dot 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 dot. Let me just jump to the very end. Oh wait, no, he does. No, he does meet. Uh, he does meet Nezuko, and then immediately tries to kill Tanjiro for teaming up with the pretty girl
mhm.
and not telling him.
Yeah.
And then we just get a flash, just Inosuke just sleeping through them yelling and fighting with each other.
Mhm. That's good.
I love Inosuke so much. He's like the funny version of Bakugo.
He honestly comes off like a tough guy, but really he's just a sweet boy underneath.
Yeah, I still love the scene. So what's your name? My name's Tanjiro Kampo. Okay, Tamaro Kampadaro. It's like, who are you talking about? You, obviously. No, you're not.
You actually kind of sounded like Tanjiro when you said the no, the no, I'm not.
I know there's a version. I saw a TikTok of the audio. It was just like deep fried at the end, and it's so funny. I love when they deep fry ends of jokes. Uh,
They what?
so basically, they bass boost the audio, so it gets like
Oh,
super
oh, I
crazy
see,
at
I
the
see.
very end.
See, that's what you meant.
Sorry, I refer to that as deep frying.
No, no, you're good. I was just like I wasn't entirely sure what you meant. It's all.
Yeah. I think is that this arc episode?
that about covers it.
Cool.
No, they're definitely a bit shorter, but because a lot of it is fighting.
But
Um,
it is amazing fighting, and at least it's not Dragon Ball Z fighting, which there are 3 episodes for one fight.
yeah, really more of Dragon Ball Z's fighting is only really bad because you have the Toei animation problem where you're really close to the manga basically, and you're basically animating one like a few panels like a week instead of like full chapters.
Oh, that's dumb.
One Piece suffers from the same problem.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
imagine
like
so.
about halfway through its run.
I would imagine so.
So definitely understand. A lot of like other shows are a lot better paced nowadays, just because they're seasonal. So they don't have to like be running year round.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wait, is the movie actually on here? Oh, they actually have the movie on here.
yeah, they do.
How come the My Hero movie doesn't get to be on here?
I don't know. Probably because it's technically not like instrumental to the plot.
Yeah, but if you're gonna, I don't know. It just seems like if you wanted to, you could easily.
I don't know. It might also have to do with that Demon Slayer is not like it's like the rights to it, like to stream it and whatnot, are owned by Aniplex, not Funimation or Crunchyroll technically. So Aniplex can do whatever they want with the streaming rights.
Oh, Funimation can do whatever they want. Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
because basically Funimation has the streaming rights for the movies and whatnot.
Okay, cool. When are we gonna
Um,
do Doctor Stone again?
I'll have to see. It's hard getting my little brother to be free, so
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, but yeah, I think that's about it for this time. We'll come back soon-ish, either for I'm not sure which one I'm gonna post after this, but either State Arc for My Hero Academia or
The ending season 1 of Demon Slayer. Cool.
yeah. Thank you for watching. Feel free to do the things that everyone always says. So
Like, subscribe, and comment, please.
yeah, do it if you want. But anyways, that's it from us. Thank you for watching and bye.
Bye-bye.